right, we are back. This is Live with Queenie Green, and we're reporting live from the Jerk Festival 2019. And today once again, I have the blessing of a chance to stand next to our first African-American Lieutenant Governor. That is awesome. And not just female governor, not just African-American female governor, but the first African-American lieutenant governor. So first off, what does that mean for just our community? What is that like being the first black African-American lieutenant governor?
Well, I mean, Governor Pritzker and I ran because we wanted to make a difference in our state. There were a lot of challenges in our state, continue to be a lot of challenge in our state. But I think the thing that we are really focused on, and the thing that I focus on, is how important it is for all of us to have a seat at the table in our communities so that our voices are lifted up. And I see it as a real responsibility on my part to make sure that communities that are full of people that look like me, make sure that they know, just like I represent any resident of the state of Illinois, but also that our community does have a voice at that table where decisions are being made. So it's an extreme honor to represent not just our communities, but for every resident of the state of Illinois.
Yes. Now, I was able to meet you during Lobby Day. So, of course, 1 million of our viewers, everyone wants to know what's going on with the legalization of marijuana. Can you briefly give us a description of what does that mean for Illinois?
I can absolutely, and first of all, thank you for coming down, and that's why I say it requires everybody's voice at the table, making sure you make your voice heard when there's an issue that you're concerned about, just like you did. And what I would say is that we were proud to see with the work of a number of different legislators, many of whom who have been working on this issue for many, many years, and now Governor Pritzker this week will be signing this bill into law. We always said when it comes to the legalization of adult use of cannabis, it was never about revenue. This was about social justice, and this was about equity. And I'm proud to say that we have the most equity-centric legalization of cannabis bill in the country. We made sure that we have a process for expunging records so that people who have convictions on their record relating to cannabis can get those records expunged. And there's a couple of different processes to get to that point. We made sure that there are special loan funds and other opportunities to make sure that people can not only just be employees in this industry, but be owners in this industry and be a part of this industry. And then finally, we have a segment of this bill that's going to be under my leadership, and that's making sure that we acknowledge and recognize the harm that has been done to communities all across our state, especially communities of color, because of the war on drugs. And now we are going to be investing money through a grant process to make sure that these communities can begin to repair that harm. So we are really proud of this legislation. We're really grateful for not just the legislators, but the advocates, the organizers who made sure we got to this point.
I love that. And lastly, what avenues are you taking personally as Lieutenant Governor for the state of Illinois and also for the city of Chicago?
Well, I think one of the things that affects every single community is the issue of justice. Every community, we can look at areas, whether it's city of Chicago or the rural areas that are downstate Illinois, Peoria, Rockford, East St. Louis. We know that we need to think about justice more broadly than just policing jails and prisons, but we have to think about justice in the terms of access to health care and affordable housing. Justice is a matter of making sure every child is educated. Justice is making sure that people can get jobs, and that we really make sure that it's not just working on re-entry, but how do we keep people from entering the system in the first place? These are the things that we need to look at more comprehensively. I'm proud to say that Governor Pritzker signed an executive order establishing the Justice, Equity, and Opportunity Initiative, and it is housed in my office and under my leadership, and we'll be working with communities all around our state to make sure everyone has access to equity and opportunity.
That is a beautiful thing for our city. And you can always don't forget about Queenie Green. You can definitely call me. I'll come out whenever you need assistance, whatever you guys need. I'm all for the empowerment of our communities, for our people. And just being an African-American woman, I am so proud.
Oh, thank you.
You motivate me to do what I do on a daily basis. We need more women like you. We need more women building our communities, and I thank you. So personally,
and more women like you, Queenie,
thank
because
you.
you're out here doing the work, and that's why I say it's never about just the people who are elected. It is about people in the community doing the work, and everybody can do the work.
Now, can we look for you on our Live with Queenie Green, Can TV segment, and also we're coming up with a new segment called the Windy City Review, where we're going to be speaking with officials like yourself, basically talking about the same thing. We want to get those resources, and we want to get the information out to the public, to the community that does, they don't always have the resources to find out what's going on when it comes to legislative bills, when it comes to city council, and Queenie Green has vowed to be that resource for the community. So can we get you in with us for another interview live exclusively with us at some point?
Well,
when I know your schedule is busy.
Please invite me, and the other thing I want to say is I hope that your listeners and your viewers will also follow me on Facebook at Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I talk about what's happening in our office and keep people abreast of what's happening. I want to make sure that you're hearing from us directly, because we represent you, and that's why it's important for us to stay in contact.
Well, we'll keep in touch, and
Yes.
we'll make sure we get all your information, and we'll blast all of your information all over our social media.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for interviewing with me. It was a blast meeting you the first time. I'm so proud to meet you a second time, and we're going to keep this relationship going.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Queenie.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Enjoy the Jerk Fest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, that's Live with Queenie Green reporting from the Jerk Festival. Jerk Festival 2019. Queenie Green, we're out to our next interview.